The puppet show, which is the English title, is about a serial killer who is burning old men alive in the middle of Cumbria's stone circles, which is something stone circles have never been used for. They've never been used for sacrifice until my book. On the third victim, a name is found carved, the name of Washington Poe, who was a detective with the National Crime Agency, currently on suspension after a suspect in his last case died, and he got the blame for that. Rightly or wrongly, you'll have to read the book. He is believed to be a potential victim for this serial killer, so he comes back to work and enlists the help of a data analyst called Tilly Bradshaw, who is a once-in-a-generation mind, a genius almost to the point you can't measure it, but she's got no social skills at all. She's been in higher education for most of her childhood and adult life. This is working for the National Crime Agency as her first job, and in theory Poe and Tilly shouldn't get on, but as the novel develops they form a friendship which is as strong as probably any friendship in crime fiction today. I'd had the idea for a serial killer novel with stone circles used as a backdrop ever since I found out how many stone circles there were in Cumbria. There's 63, far more than anywhere else in the UK. Now, Cumbria, what's so extraordinary about that, Cumbria is probably the quietest county in England. It's out on the end. It borders Scotland. It's the second largest county in England land-wise, but has the third smallest population. So you can go for long walks, without seeing a single person in Cumbria. But because of the stone circles, it tells us that in Neolithic times, Cumbria was the hub of the landmass that is now the United Kingdom. That it was where it's all happening. A lot of the stone circles are believed to have been used to do with the trade in axe heads, which is extraordinary. And these circles, they're not like Stonehenge. They're not fenced off. You can go and sit in them. My favourite one is called Long Meg and Her Daughters. There's a big standing stone outside the stone circle, which is the Long Meg. The daughters are the actual stones, and there's these beautiful carvings on the stone which you can touch, and you actually got a real connection to the history of the place, which I found extraordinary. So it was a subject I was desperate to put in a book. Actually, it's a fascinating county. As for a crime writer, it's got, apart from a major city, it's got everything that you need. It's got the deprived estates. It's got very quiet villages. It's got big manor houses. It's got castles. It's got outstanding scenery. It's got deprivation. It's got big industry. Also, anything I want to do in a book or explore in a book, I can explore in Cumbria. It's fun killing people in the places that I know so well. I've actually got a map at home of all the places, a big wall map of Cumbria with a little red dot for every time I've killed someone in it. Poe and Tilly are the beating heart of the stories, and in Black Summer I tease the readers a bit, which is the second Poe book, because Tilly doesn't make an appearance for the first 100 odd pages. She's on the video conference very briefly, but the first part of the book is Poe in trouble and investigating just how much trouble he's in, and when he realises he's in more trouble than he could even possibly have imagined, he calls for Tilly to come and help him, and she does, and that's when the novel kicks up a gear. But yeah, Tilly is such a fun character to write, and the friendship that Poe and Tilly have is such a wonderful thing to write about as well, that I've got no intention of splitting them up anytime soon. I've got two series. One is the Avison Fluke series. My editor says Avison Fluke is how I am, Washington Poe is how I wish I was. So he's a far cooler version of me. We were both in the army. I give him a military background just in case I needed it in later books, to be honest. So it wasn't a long career. It might be something I never use, although he's used his military background in the fourth book. Actually, he's used something, but it's never been a massive plot point. He has a interest and an expertise in serial killers, and that's because of his own dark background. I'm not as interested in serial killers as Poe is, but I am interested in the motivations for why people commit offences. That's always interested me, and it was my job for 16 years, but it's always interested me anyway. So you'll never get a Washington Poe book where a killer is cutting off people's noses without any explanation. If he's going to be cutting off noses, then there's going to be a explanation that is grounded in reality.